You might think this is controversial, but you are not a calorie machine. Now, for most people that I work with, calories weighs a lot on their mind. They're worried about what they should and should be having because of the calories of that food and how that is going to affect their body weight. However, today I want to share with you some key things that might just change your perspective around calories. The fact is that there is no set calorie count that we should be following. We are all individuals and we all have different needs dependent on our age, our body size, our genetics, our biochemistry, our health history, the list goes on. Now, diet culture has us believe that we need to think about calories like a bank account. So the food we eat is like the money we are paying into our bank account, and the food that the energy, the calories that we burn is like the money that we are either spending or withdrawing from our bank account. But it doesn't actually work like this. We are far more complex as individuals and as humans. And the simple equation of calories in equals calories out does not work for us. To understand this better, let's look at how we use calories in the body, because this is something that shows and indicates the variations that exist with us as each individuals. So first of all, when the body is at rest and it's doing nothing else but just staying alive, we use approximately 60% of the calories that we take in. That's 60% to produce hormones, to reproduce cells, to do a myriad of different things, to breathe even, to allow our heart to beat. There's so many different things that our body has to do a lot of work just to stay alive. To process our food, we use about 10% of our calorie intake, and this will depend on the amount we're eating, on our genes, and the type of food we're taking in. But imagine that 10% of everything we're eating is being burnt just by the processing and the breaking down of our food, and only between 15 and 30% of our calorie expenditure, as it were, is used by physical activity. Now, obviously that depends on the type of physical activity. We can do all sorts of things, whether we are doing housework to actually going to the gym. It doesn't really matter. But what's really important is to not start thinking about going to the gym as a way to compensate for calories eaten. It doesn't work. It very much keeps you stuck in a dieting mindset, and it is quite disordered eating thinking, and can certainly lead to all sorts of obsessive behavior around exercise. So really not helpful. And to bear in mind that actually it's quite a small proportion of your calories burnt if you think of all the work that your body is doing. And even though our liver and brain perhaps take only a small part up of our body, they account for about 1/5 of the calories we burn overall. So it's really far more complex than just thinking calories in, calories out. Are you beginning to see a picture of why we need to think in a different way about this? It's also worth noting that calories on food packets are inaccurate. So if you're someone who obsessively studies the calories and compares and finds it really hard to make decisions around what you're going to buy in a supermarket, please note that they are really inaccurate. It's really not helping you for doing this. In fact, it's probably raising your stress levels, which is having more of an impact on your body and everything that's going on than actually the food that you are choosing to consume. But it's also important to know that calories from different foods have different effects on the body. This includes the effects of how full and satiated we feel, of our insulin response, how we process storing fat, and metabolic energy expenditure overall. So each calorie does not work the same way within the body. So the answer lies really on not spending wasted hours trying to calculate your calories burnt and totting up the value of calories in foods and looking at calories and making choices on menus because they're lower calorie, but learning more how to become present with your hunger and your fullness and satiety signals. And also really about thinking about how you can add in a variety of foods into your diet, which will help you feel more satisfied, help to make eating a more joyful experience and reduce your stress, but also it will give your body the nutrients that it needs to work really effectively. And if you need some help with this, don't forget to download my free guide for Breaking the Cycle, your first steps to healing your relationship with food, which will help you get started on this journey.